time for Climate Check. Welcome and thank you so much for making time. I'm your host, Mary Mwekisa. Now, this program is brought to you courtesy of HIVOS Southern Africa with its alliance partners under the VCA project. And this is the Voices for Just Climate Action project. And so for the next 13 episodes, we will be partnering with the VCA project to give you information around climate action in various parts of this country. Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature such as forests has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. And so I will start the show by talking to the partners of the VCA project, and this is Mr. Fungai Musana, who is the Chief External Engagement Officer at WWF Zambia, and Mr. Michelo Simwete, who is the Project Officer VCA at HIVOS Southern Africa. Join me on the other side as I engage them. Welcome back to Climate Check. Joining me in studio is Mr. Fungai Musana, Chief External Engagement Officer, WWF Zambia. Thank you so much for being here.
No, thanks for having me, Mary.
All right, and next to him is Mr. Michelo Simwete, who is Project Officer for the Voices for Just Climate Action at HIVOS Southern Africa. Thank you so much for making time.
Thanks, Mary. Nice to be here.
All right, let's first understand your mandate, why you exist as HIVOS Southern Africa.
Thank you very much. So HIVOS Southern Africa exists basically to alleviate the unjust or bring about justice for the different areas in the society. So HIVOS has components, different thematic components, and one of the components is climate justice. So under the climate justice, that's where we get issues of climate change, poverty alleviation, and livelihoods. And on this particular focus, I think that's why we have brought in we are part of the VCA just to ensure that issues of climate change, advocacy, and policy engagement are brought out and also resolved.
Okay. And for WWF Zambia, what is your main focus as an organization?
Yeah, thanks, Mary. We started working in Zambia in 1962 and mostly to support natural resources conservation. We started as a very small office. Now we've grown. I think we've got a presence in about 4 provinces, hoping to cover the whole Zambia. And our activities mostly look at how do we ensure that biodiversity loss is reduced, as well as push the issue of climate action, and maybe obviously being on the VCA now. However, just to put it directly, so we've got a mission, which is to stop degradation of planet's natural resources and build a future where humans live in harmony with nature. So in here we're looking at how do we conserve the the diversity. In this case, we're looking at the biological diversity. We're also trying to ensure that we are able to use renewable resources and also become a bit more sustainable. Today, I think renewable sources are become key as we look at our production of power generation. So that's one key area, as well as promote a reduction of pollution and wasteful consumption.
Okay. Now talk to me about the VCA project. Give me background to it.
All right. The VCA started, this is our 4th year, going to 5th year in terms of activities, and we are closing the end of the year. We are an alliance that brings together global and local voices, connecting diverse range of civil society organizations. So I think, as you can see, he was here. And we try to connect with a diverse range of civil society organizations representing women, youth, as well as indigenous people, urban poor, and also look at digital activists and more. The program is implemented by an alliance. So we've got strong southern civil societies, which is South-South-North, Akina Mama, as well as slum dwellers. Then we've got the big global NGOs, needless to say, HIVOS,
yes.
as well as WWF.
Okay.
And this is supported by the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Okay.
And that's really the background. And we've got a shared vision. In this case, we want a society which can be heard and respected, as well as we are looking at a world where civil society co-creates local-led solutions, climate action solutions.
Okay.
We are also looking at a world where civil society is an agent of change, as well as influences policy. And in this case, I think we've recently been talking about the budget. So we want to see how we can influence the budget, and also want to be part of the global responses to climate crisis.
Okay.
Yeah, and generally that's what we're trying to do as VCA.
Okay.
Yes.
Mr. Smwete, what is the major focus of this VCA project? In which areas do you work? Who do you work with?
Okay, so the major focus of the VCA project, first it is to maybe just state that the VCA project is a global project.
Okay.
So part of the project, so it is being implemented, is the Global South.
Okay.
And here in Southern Africa, that is Zambia specifically, the project is being implemented in the Lower Kafue Basin and Lusaka province.
Okay.
By the Lower Kafue Basin, I mean about 7 areas, that is Chirundu, Siavonga, Kafue, Chikankata. We have in Lusaka, we have Rufunsa, Chongwe, and Luangwa. Yes, so those are the areas that we are implementing the VCA project. We are doing this in order to see how are the urban and the rural population affected. So when you look at the nexus that we're looking at, it is the water, energy, food, and energy nexus. So this is the nexus that we are all looking at, yes, under the VCA project.
Who are the beneficiaries of this work? Because I heard you mention different towns, different places under the Lower Kafue Basin.
Yes, so the beneficiaries on this particular project are basically the marginalized. So when we talk about the marginalized, we're looking at the women, youths, of course, even the elderly, the disabled as well. We are looking at this particular population. Yes. So this is our key population. But needless to say that when we say women, we also look at men. There are all those men that are also affected by the issues of climate change, because as you might be aware, climate change affects everyone. It does not leave anyone. So if for us to fight climate change, for us to address issues of climate change, we need everyone on board. Yes.
Okay.
And just to add, Mary, so I think one issue that was brought out is that it's a global project.
Yes.
Our program, as it were. So we are in Tunisia, we are also in Bolivia, Paraguay, Kenya, Indonesia, and Zambia. And these countries were picked based on areas that were being hard hit by the climate crisis.
Change.
Yes. And also trying to ensure that whatever we do has an economic importance. So we're trying to be a bit more strategic in how we do this.
Okay.
And also ensure that look at areas where we felt there was limited physical space. So interestingly enough, we've got a lot of, I think Andy spoke to it, local initiatives and movements which we would want to support, because we believe that it is only through working with the local CSOs that we're able to push the agenda. Of course, HIVOS and WWF are global NGOs, but we would want to implement through local NGOs. So VCA has got a number of partners. I think WWF sits with about 6 partners. HIVOS sitting, I don't know,
About 6.
6 as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
So even the other SSN has got 3. So in essence, what we're trying to do is we'd want to see a place where the local NGOs or the local CSOs are the ones that implement. Yes, and we just give them all the support. Yeah, we
but then I'm glad you've clarified the fact that you are supporting these local NGOs that are on the ground to interact with the communities and change their lives. From your assessment, looking back 4 years down the line, has this been impactful? Has this support been impactful on these communities?
I would say yes. Obviously, we've had our own challenges and a lot of learning, because obviously it starts with how we onboard the local NGOs. We've onboarded some that didn't perform, but also onboarded some that have really performed. So it's crucial. Now that we are here, we've had over maybe 3 or 4 harvesting of outcomes.
Okay.
And we've seen that most of the things that we've asked from these local NGOs has really come to fruition. And also certain aspects that we could not have seen as WWF because we're sitting at that level, we've seen that the local NGOs have come up and are able to actually implement. I can give an example. There's one project in Churundo where there's been a dam that's more or less insilted. So in essence, the dam is no longer functional. I don't think as WWF where we stand, we could have been there, but we've got a local NGO that is actually pushing, has managed to raise financing not only from us, but also from government to ensure that this dam starts working. It's one kind of dam where if it's not working, you've got a community that will not have water for months in end. So, and these are things we will not see. But using these local people, these people who see the problems that that are there, then we're able to identify and also work. What we've also done, and just maybe before Mwenche comes in, when we started, and if you heard in my introduction, we were looking more on policy, so the soft things. But we noted that working on the soft things alone will not help. So we've come up with what we call the next level grant agreement facility that helps to actually invest in hard stuff. So we're looking at projects that will have locally led solutions that are able to come out and fight this climate crisis that we face. We are providing between $3,000 to $5,000 per local NGOs that come up with a solution. We are targeting over 50, and we hope that the response will be great. We just closed the call for proposals on Sunday, and we are now evaluating, or we'll start evaluating, to ensure that
for the next level of support.
So those who responded to the call, we're now trying to identify who we will work with.
I see.
Yes.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
So just to add on, I think the next level grant facility today, in fact, we are doing the assessments of that grant. So in a nutshell, it is just to mention that the next level grant facility is for the people on the ground, the grassroots. So these are the local groups. We talk of groupings that have come together, and maybe they're not formally registered, and so they are able to access this particular grant. So when you look at the mode of application, it's not the typical hard applications. It's a simple application form that can be used by anyone on the ground.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, talk to me about some of the success stories from these NGOs that you've supported in the past to implement the VCA work in these communities. Okay.
So from the partners that we have had so far, I think there has been promotion of what they call cook stoves. So in Rufunsa and Ruangwa, there's one of our partners, that is Keeper Zambia Foundation, is promoting ecological friendly cooking stoves where it does not involve a lot of cutting down trees or anything. Yes. So those are some of the solutions that have been brought on board. Then also leveraging on locally climate tools like the CDF. We are seeing that groups in Rufunsa, Luangwa, and Lusaka are also accessing the CDF, especially that now government has brought about the component of the climate resilient component. So we are educating communities in our areas, focus areas, just to make sure that they apply for the CDF so that they're able to be resilient in terms of climate change. But also we are promoting issues of people should be able to amplify, should be able to tell their story from their end. What are the issues that are affecting them? How have they been affected? What do they think is the right mode of solutions that can be led? I think Fungai brought about issues of locally led solutions. So we want solutions to come from the ground. Solutions that we know that even if the project was to come to an end, the project still continues issues of sustainability. Yes. So at some point, I think when we do the last outcome harvesting, we are looking at how would this be, the achievements be sustained.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, Fungai, talk to me about the project cycle. For how long is it? Are we still seeing this support go around in our communities?
Mary, that's the saddest part of this. We are in the last year.
Oh no.
Yes, and we hope to see if we could actually identify new partners. We appreciate the work that the Dutch Ministry of Foreign Affairs has done so far, but nonetheless, they will not continue with the program. Okay. We hope to close next year, I think by December we should have closed.
Okay.
However, and I think speaking to what we just said, what we've done so far is to ensure that the local NGOs remain sustainable. So we've tried to ensure that by the time we're leaving, they should be able to stand on their own 2 feet. And I think that's even the greater success. Many a time when programs come to an end, interventions come to an end. And that's been our greatest fight, to ensure that that doesn't happen. It happens a lot, but believe with VCA that will not be the case. We've done a lot of joint lobbying and advocacy, and also trying to ensure that financial flows that respond to locally led climate solutions are met. So in this case, we're looking at a number of our partners have actually managed to get grants from other partners, and also in certain cases come up with scalable, bankable projects. And we believe by so doing, even after we move out as the VCA, they will remain sustainable.
Okay. This is a Climate Check, and of course this program is brought to you by HIVOS Southern Africa with its alliance partners under the VCA project. We take a short break. Join me on the other side. Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature, such as forests, has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers, and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. Welcome back to Climate Check. Now, I'm still talking to members of the alliance partners of the VCA project, and this is Fungai Musana, Chief External Engagement Officer, WWF Zambia, and Michelo Simwete, Project Officer, Voices for Just Climate Action from HIVOS Southern Africa. Now, why was the VCA project, why was it important for the VCA project to partner with ZNBC on a show like this one?
Yeah, I think the VCA, this show is very important, not only for the VCA, I think even for the wider audience. So the VCA partnered with ZNBC, I think looking at the wider audience of ZNBC, just to reach out to a wider audience over what we are doing, but also what are the practical solutions towards climate change. So we're reaching out to offer solutions, but also as well receive feedback on what could be the possible solutions to the climate change situation.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe just to add. So one of the key issues that we look at is agenda setting and movement in climate action through amplified storytelling. So we want to use this platform for storytelling. And I know going forward, when other people come in, they will actually they'll do justice to the storytelling aspect, because they'll get to the details and tell you actually the impacts, the impact that they are of, as well as the key outcomes that we've seen. We would want to see a position where people that have been impacted by this program come to ZNBC and tell it themselves.
Yes.
Yeah, because
from the communities.
Exactly, from the communities, yes. And for us, again, that's success, because if we're able to show that the people in the communities are actually appreciating the program, and also we've seen them change in terms of if we found them at this level, right, and we've taken them to that level, I think that's progress. We've seen a number of programs where we come implement and do not have no impact on people.
Exactly.
We would want to be different, and we would want to show evidence that we've done that by having this program. Okay.
Now, Mr. Simwete, as HIVOS Southern Africa, tell us about the seed and the seed event that is upcoming, and why and how important is it?
Okay, so the food and the Zambian Food and Traditional Festival is a very important festival. It is, I think this year will be the seventh. This festival is held to promote our locally indigenous food and also seeds. Okay. So this year's festival is being held under the theme Building Resilience on Local Seeds and Foods.
Okay.
So the The festival starts tomorrow on Wednesday.
Okay.
There will be a road show in Chilanga and also surrounding areas. Then on Thursday there will be, that is the I think that will be the 10th.
Okay.
There will be a farmers dialogue.
Okay.
Then towards the end, that is Friday and Saturday, we are exhibiting farmers from all the 10 provinces of the country are coming at Mundawanga to exhibit their foods and also seeds.
So these are indigenous foods.
So these are indigenous seeds. Then community members, even local residents have an opportunity to sample out these foods. They can buy, and also they can buy the food and also the seeds.
Okay.
Yes.
Who is allowed to attend? Is the members of the public welcome? Is it at a fee? Is it free?
So this particular show, this particular festival is open to the public. It is a free festival, so everyone is encouraged to visit Mundawanga Botanical Gardens just to see what is being promoted by the farmers all over the country.
Okay.
Yes, and I think the guest of honor will be the current traditional chiefs, the House of Chiefs chairperson. Yes,
Okay.
Chief Nkambo of
Okay.
Masaiti.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to see you there, Mary.
Definitely. We'll definitely be there. As ZMBC, we always support activities of that nature. And lastly, Fungai, what can we look forward to even as this VCA project winds down? What are we looking forward to as a people, as the communities, as the viewers?
Yeah, so for us, success would be one, locally led solutions, climate solutions are implemented. For us, success would be gender and diverse is put front and center of what we do. For us, success would be climate finance or financial flows coming to Zambia. If we're able to tick all those three areas, we will have seen success.
Okay. And from you?
I think from our end also, it's on finance that is being accessed by both local and grassroots NGOs, plus also community members able to tell their story. Yes.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for making time to be on Climate Check.
Yeah, thank you.
Now imagine if trees could provide Wi-Fi, just how many trees you would plant? Well, they provide oxygen. We definitely cannot do without it. Destruction of nature such as forests has led to irreversible climatic changes to our world. Join me as I talk to policy formulators, change makers and climate change interest groups on Climate Check, weekly on this channel. Now you are the solution to climate change. We've come to the end of this week's edition of Climate Check. Remember, this program is brought to you courtesy of HIVO's Southern Africa and its alliance partners on the VCA project. My name is Mary Mwikisa. Make a date with me next week, same time, same channel. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.